Hey folks, just wanted to give you guys a quick vlog. Knowing myself, I might ramble on. So, it's 33 minutes past midnight, and I'm going to bed a little bit earlier today. Yay! I feel like my brain's half asleep, off to one side, missing my V8. Like the hat? The fun thing about life is that you always remember, at the weirdest of times, things that you've done in your past. And seeing Ryan Havoc actually do his Dave the Couch Guy's Tabasco challenge reminded me of when we actually got together for a role playing session over at one of my friends' place in Edmonton. Now, we had discussed over God knows how long certain recipes that existed. You know the recipe books you can buy that are based off of role playing games? Dragonlance has a good collection of actual recipes that taste good and some look disgusting, but the smell and the taste is awesome. Um, I remember two versions of the original. There's one version that Marcel, my XDM, um, adapted to a chili recipe, and it was spicy and very tasty. And it was chili with mushrooms, red kidney beans, and ground hamburger. The original recipe calls for uh, beef stew cubes, um, and I know that one of the ingredients is Mongolian fire oil, and I'm not making this up. It's actually pepper oil from one of the hot peppers that exists. And once you take everything and all the spices that you need to put into it, there's not many. It's mostly heat. There's lots of good taste. You take everything, you have to cook it over 24 hours at low heat. You marinate it basically in low heat settings. And you make sure that when you serve it with lots of whipped potatoes, creamy bread, sour cream, and you do not drink anything because you'll be choking at the back of your throat from the spices hitting the back of it. It's a spicy dish. It's very spicy. Surprisingly so, to the point that we were taking pictures of each other. Unfortunately, I have none. And one of the pictures we took, it was Stéphane Raymond, a guy from the Gaspé coast who was studying forestry, and we invited him over. We had him for about 5 sessions, and we were happy to have him over for that evening. The poor guy was the first one to try it. And he took a forkful, and as he was getting close to his mouth, it wasn't even in his mouth, touching any parts of his mouth. It was just at the beginning, and you saw his face turn beet red. He almost choked on the smell of it. He said it smelled delicious but very spicy. He took the first bite, and he was cramming mashed potatoes in his mouth as quick as he could to cover his mouth and soften the heat blow that he was receiving. It was like having the full intensity of the Sahara Desert in the back of his throat, he said after he finished. But it's an enjoyable experience. There's lots of recipes you can find from the web, from that particular cookbook. If you can find it, I challenge any of you to actually take the time to investigate the recipes. I'll try to actually find it myself and actually use it so I can do some cooking vlogs. Who knows? If I can find it, that is. Apart from that, red Sauvignon peppers, in regards to heat extravagance, are the best heat producing pepper in my own honest opinion. We tried them dried, crushed. Ian Wilson, is it Ian Wilson? Well, anyways, Ian, a coworker, an ex-coworker from my workplace, actually had them growing hydroponically. He stopped because it's so demanding, but he actually took the red Sauvignon, dried it overnight in a dehydrator, took it and ground it into a fine, coarse powder. Well, I shouldn't say fine, a somewhat semi-coarse powder, close to fine, and he brought it to work. And I had this. I told him, okay, you want to bring it? Bring it. And I told him, bring something to cut the heat, because if we can't handle it, we'll need to be able to degrade the capsaicin, which is an oil. So I told him either bring lime or lemon juice. So he brought raw lemon juice, unwatered, unsugared, so we could actually swish it around and allow our palates to somewhat cool down after the effect. The whole powder was served on slabs of oatmeal brown bread smothered in apple jam. I didn't have any apple butter, so I used apple jam. If you've never tried sweet and spice, you've never lived your life. This particular pepper had a kick like a mule in it, but it didn't have a kick like a mule in it in one punch. It had it on the long term, very mild curve, but it had no end. Your taste buds felt as if they were dancing on coals. The first bite of it, you started munching on it, and that's where, thank God for the bread, because it would have been too powerful. The kick would have been nasty. As one of my friends, as Chris the Angry Gnome put it, the guy that you've seen in some of my vids, it was like a party at 4,000 degrees in my head for at least 30 minutes. Even with the lemon juice, it still didn't dull a lot of the sensations. I'm not a chili head, but I can tell you it's the bomb to cook with. That or Scotch bonnets, mix of red Scotch bonnets to do relish that you can actually use with some nifty sausages. Apple pork sausages go well with sweet red Scotch bonnet relish because it's spicy. Doesn't have as much kick as the red Sauvignon. Gold Scotch bonnets ground up and put on top of lasagna are... I need to find myself these peppers. But anyways, folks, I think I've used up a lot of your time. Remember, there's a Blogtv happening tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Not tomorrow, but Friday, sorry. Friday at 8 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. You're all invited to come along. We're going to relax, listen to tunes, possibly have you tortured by cats once more, who knows. And just have generic fun. Invite people. I'll try to tweet them and invite them over. We may have Film Hawk. Don't know. Who knows who we'll have. Don't know if we'll have them as invited guest. Don't know. Okay. Anyways, I hope your week's going swell. We're now past hump day. For me, anyways, we're past hump day. We're now on Thursday. Thank God. I hope you all have a nice one.